Hi, guys. Welcome back to Daisy Diaries. I am so excited to be back. So much has happened within the past week. And for those who are listening and not watching, I dyed my hair back to black and I completely chopped it all off. I now have, I guess you could say, a long bob, and I'm actually going to go right after this episode to get it shorter. And it's so funny because everyone in my DMs was like, are you having a midlife crisis? Like, what are you going through? What's going on? And I was just like, I'm perfectly fine. But I do just want to kind of talk about what happened to my hair because if you've been following me for a very long time, you know that I had very long, healthy hair. Like my hair was so healthy that when I would get it done by hairstylists, they would tell me like you need to damage it or something because the curl does not hold up. And I really took really good care of my hair from when I started to lose hair when I was depressed. That's when I started to get into my hair growth journey. I grew that bald spot out and I had very healthy hair for a long time. I then decided to dye my hair a light brown for the summertime, right? I don't know why I decided to do this right before going to Mexico for an entire month. And I knew that if I didn't like it, I was going to be stuck with that hair in Mexico, right? So I went to Houston to get my hair done because I wanted to go see my sisters before I left. And I also got my hair done on Mercury retrograde, which I knew I shouldn't have done. You're never supposed to make any big drastic changes during Mercury retrograde. I knew better. I knew better. And I still was just like feeling super impulsive. And I was like, fuck it. I'm going to do it. It's the summertime. Like, who cares? Hair grows back. And I then bleached my hair twice. And I loved the way my hair came out, kind of. It's not the color that I wanted. I am going to say that because at the hair salon there was like this wig that was like kind of a light neutral ashy brown and I was like I want that color, but then my hair ended up coming out like a straight up chocolate brown. And I was like, okay, well I mean like it's not that off from like the black hair that I had. So then literally 2 weeks later I realized that my hair started to turn copper. A month later I was a full on redhead and I was like, what the fuck is going on with my hair? It then started to fall off. It started to thin out. I had so many split ends. Like my hair was just so damaged. I then decided to add extensions and tone my hair in LA, and my hair looks super bomb. But I myself did not feel that confident because I knew that under the extensions, my hair was so damaged. And I'm like, oh my God, like when I take off these extensions, I'm still gonna hate my hair, you know? So I was like, fuck this shit. Yesterday I got out of the shower and I had three wafts. I think that's what they're called. So basically just imagine like two extensions stacked on top of each other and three of those in your head. I already have a lot of hair. My hair was so freaking heavy that every time I would get out of the shower, it would take a whole hour to dry my hair. And I don't know what it was. I feel like maybe you guys can relate, especially girls. Like if we're like struggling with the hair, if we're like brushing it out, it's not brushing out, or it's not curling the way we want to, like we really do get frustrated. And at that point, like I was just like, fuck this shit. I'm taking off the extensions and I'm chopping off my entire hair. And so I did that yesterday and I'm so happy that I did. My hair is short, but it's healthy. It feels so soft. And it's kind of like right above my boob between my shoulder. I feel like it's kind of an awkward length. It looks like I had like a really short bob and then it grew out. And I'm like, you know what, Daisy? You're only like 2 inches away from getting a bob. So then now I really do want like an actual bob. And I feel like it's just gonna vibe out for the summertime, especially it's in Texas. In Texas, it's so hot. So I'm just like, fuck it. Hair does grow out. So no, I'm not having a midlife crisis. I am just starting over on my hair growth journey. I will keep you guys updated on all of the products and everything that I'm using to grow my hair back. No more extensions for me. And please don't ever let me bleach my hair ever again. Also, this is your sign to never ever dye your hair during Mercury retrograde because I definitely learned my lesson. But anyways, for today's episode, you guys, I am so excited to start this New series on my solo episodes. I basically did a poll on Instagram where I asked you guys to either confess something to me or ask me to confess something. And I would either give my insight or react to the confessions. The confessions that you guys submitted were insane. Some of them were like too crazy for me to react on camera. But off camera, I was like, oh my God, there is no way that some of these are real. They're just insane. But your secret is safe with me. I am going to keep everyone's confessions anonymous, and I'm taking your secrets with me to the grave. Don't worry, girly pop. I also do want to say that Daisy Diaries is a safe place, and this is like a judge-free zone. And of course, I will keep everything disclosed. So I just want to say thank you guys for being vulnerable with me and allowing me to do this confession episode. I am actually very, very excited to go through some of these. Okay, let's start off with the first. Confession. I have a boyfriend, but I like the attention other men give me since my boyfriend doesn't make me feel desired. I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you are not paying attention to your partner, you cannot blame them for having wandering eyes and seeking attention from other people, because us as human beings, if we are in a relationship, we need to feel desired. We need to feel wanted, because if not, we are going to go looking for it somewhere else. And so I do not blame you for liking the attention from other men. I have been in that situation where I just wasn't feeling fulfilled as a woman in my relationship. And, I was either like posting a thirst trap and then getting that attention from, other people online, because my man at the time was not giving me the attention. And then it would turn into an argument of like, why are you posting that picture? And it's like, you don't make me feel beautiful. You don't compliment me. You are not making me feel like a girlfriend. You're not making me feel like a woman. You're not making me feel desired. And that is just a conversation that I had with my partner at the time. And then things did change. But I feel like if I would have never done that, he definitely would have never realized it. But I feel like that leads to a lot of infidelity and cheating, because like, who wants to stay in a relationship where you don't feel desired, So I'm like, I think my advice would be to either break up with him. Honestly, just break up with him. No, I'm playing. I don't know. I would either have an open conversation with him or break up with him, because I promise you there are men out there that will give you the attention that you deserve. So I don't want you to feel like you are stuck with this person. There's other fish in the sea, babe. So if I were you, I'd break up with him. I'm like, I'll be your girlfriend. No, I'm playing. But confess, have you ever felt you had a friend that was envious of you? How did you address it? Yes, I have had a friend of mine that I found out was envious of me, and it was such a disappointing situation, because I was very close to this person at the time, and I would have never in a million years thought that she would backstab me the way that she did. And I'm going to tell you guys exactly what happened. So I had gone to a dinner. It was like a friend's birthday, and there was this girl at the dinner who I knew that had just hung out with my friend at the time. And so we were just like talking, whatever. And then she's like, hey, like, I know that you and this girl are really close, and I just want to let you know what she said in Miami about you. And I was like, what did she say? And she was like, well, we went out to dinner and she was at a table with some of my other friends, but my friend didn't know anybody at the table besides her. So she's like, yeah, she just got drunk and started to talk about all of your business and people that you've been with or talked to. And she just basically spilled all my secrets to this table of strangers. And she was just like, I knew that it was wrong, and I just wanted to tell you. And I was so baffled at the time, because I'm like, there is no way that she did that at a table full of strangers. And not only did she spill my business, she also spilled other people's business as well. So then I was like, I was just so confused, because I'm like, what was the reason behind it, And so I remember I had messaged my friend and I was like, hey, I think we need to talk. And she's like, yeah, I think we do. And when she saw that we were at the same dinner, I feel like she already knew that that she had told me what she had said, right? So then I went to her house, and I just straight up confronted her and I was like, why did you feel the need to tell people my business? Like I thought we were close, you know, you're supposed to be my bitch. Like, what was the reason? And she straight up said, word for word, I was jealous of you and your life. And I was just like, very in shock because I'm like I felt like have never given her a reason to feel that way. And so when I asked her, I'm like, is there anything that I did to make you feel that way? She's like, no. She's like, it's a me thing. She's like, I don't know at what point in my life I just started comparing myself to you. And she was like, I realized that I wasn't at your level, and then that's when like the envy started to grow. And it just had me questioning our entire friendship because we had been friends for a couple of years at that point. So I'm just like, at what point did she start feeling this way? Was everything genuine? So I was just very disappointed. I was also very sad. I feel like friendship breakups hurt more than actual boyfriend breakups. And, I apologized to her and I was like, well, I'm sorry if I ever made you feel some type of way. I wish you would have told me this sooner. I have always been that type of friend that is like, if I'm eating, you're eating, whatever's mine is yours. And I've always been a very caring, giving person, and everybody in my life can tell you that. And she also apologized and I accepted her apology. And I was like, you know what? I forgive you for backstabbing me, but we can't be friends. And she was trying to fight for the friendship, but I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't want somebody like that in my life. I don't care how much history we have. I don't care, what memories we had. Like, I just don't want somebody like that in my life. And so, yeah, she went her separate way. I went my separate way. And I definitely learned my lesson because my mom would always tell me, she's like, uno no tiene amigos. Like, it's always the close ones to you that, have bad intentions. Like, she would always tell me these things, but I'm like, no, like, all of my friends are so loyal and they love me and everything. And so when I remember when I told my mom this, she was like, you see, I told you. She's like, it's always the close ones to you that, are your enemies. And so from that point on, I became so selective with whom I let into my circle. And that is the reason why up to this day, I still have a very small circle, but I mean, I like it. And the people that are in my life right now have been nothing but genuine, and it's like years and years and years of friendship. But yeah, that was very disheartening, and I hope she's doing well. That's all I can say, honestly. Confession: I've been with my boyfriend of 2 years, but recently discovered I'm more into girls and I don't know how to tell him. Ooh. Oh my God. I mean, if I were to be in your position, I don't know, because I feel like I'm trying to like relate to it, because I'm like, at what point did I realize that I was into girls, where I was like, I think it can be a very scary feeling discovering what your sexuality actually is. Because like, for example, I knew I was into women at a very young age because I went to an all-girls school. And then once I left the all-girls school, I realized that I was, more attracted to women than I was to men. And then once I experimented, I was like, wait, no, I kind of do like men as well. So then that's whenever I had came out, that's whenever I realized that I was bi. And I think my advice honestly would be to, I'm like, break up with your boyfriend again. No, but if you're not happy in the relationship and you feel like you want to explore, then I definitely would just break up with your boyfriend and explore your sexuality. You won't know what you're into until you try it. You get what I'm saying? For example, and I've talked about this, my sister and I have talked about this online before, where like Daphne had tried to explore the other side, and then she realized that like she really wasn't into girls like that. So then like that made her realize that she was just straight. And so I feel like you just have to be honest with him and tell him, or you could just break up with him and then he can find out down the road. Or I don't know, but man, that's a little bit hard. But yeah, I would just be honest with him, honestly. Be honest with yourself and then with him. I'm like, girl, let me know how that goes. I'm here. Confession: I feel like I married the wrong person. Girl, I am so scared of going through that. I think that's why I'm scared of long term commitment because I'm scared to be in that position. Like, what do you do in that position, you know? Because it's like once you're married, that's like for life. You know, you get married because that is your partner for the rest of your life. And then it's like, what happened? It almost reminds me of, you know, when Kim Kardashian married Chris Humphries and they got married in like 72 days and then they had a wedding. And then she was in her glam room and she had a full breakdown saying how like she feels bad that she wasted everyone's time. She had this wedding, she did this, this, and that. And then now that she's married, she doesn't feel the same way for him. And I feel like people marry without ever thinking about getting a divorce. You know, I don't think people get married with the intention of getting a divorce. So to be in a position where now you feel like you married the wrong person, it should be, I would be so conflicted because it's like, well, you know, what now? Especially if there's kids involved. Like, I don't know what I would do. I would, I don't want to say I would hate to get divorced because it's like, if I'm not happy, I would definitely just get divorced. But again, it's like nobody wants to fail at love. But what I would do is I would definitely just, or maybe it's because the spark was lost. So then I'm like, I feel like I would definitely fight for the marriage. And if I feel like I can't keep fighting for it and I'm genuinely just not happy, then I would get a divorce because I'm not going to waste my time being in an unhappy marriage, you know, because I know that there is more to life. And plus, like, Kourtney Kardashian ended up finding the love of her life at 40 and she had a baby. And it's like, there is no age to finding love, you know? So that gives me hope. That gives me hope because I am still single, as everybody knows. So confess, have you ever had a crush on a girlfriend? Yes, I have. And she's just so beautiful. And I love when a woman takes care of herself and her energy and her aura is what attracted me, honestly. That's what attracted me to her. And I remember, I don't know if she knew that I had a crush on her. I feel like she did. But there was this time where we were at the club, and I'm confessing this to you guys. There was this time where we were at the club, and she obviously had a boyfriend. And we were all at the club, and me and her decided to go back home early because we were like roomies at the time, and we just had a little bit of fun. And I feel like after that, I mean, she was obviously still with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend didn't care because he ended up finding out. But I feel like after that, my feelings didn't grow for her. I was just like, like she's so hot. Like, I'm like, hey, like if you ever want a girlfriend, like I'm here. But I feel like all of my girlfriends are so attractive. So like I've definitely like had like tiny crushes on them, but not to the point where like I've wanted to actually date them, if that makes sense. Have y'all ever had a crush on one of your girlfriends? I've never had a crush on one of my guy friends. I will say that. I have never been attracted to any of my guy friends. I will not put a guy in the friend zone if I'm not attracted to them. If you're a guy and you're on my close friends, we're homies because there's no way that I'm having my crush on my close friends. Also, my close friends, there's nothing but girls. And I have like Louis on there. So that's about it. I don't really post anything on my close friends. I used to post the craziest things on my close friends. And I don't know, not that I became like a prune, but I'm just kind of like, I want to be more low key, you know, because like you just never know. Plus, I had an up on my close friends. So I remember I had posted a screenshot of somebody, a really famous, DMing me. And I posted this on my close friends. And somebody in my close friends went and leaked it. And I was like, who the fuck? And it didn't leak on the internet, but somebody in person was like, oh yeah, didn't so-and-so DM you? And I'm like, how do you know that? And she's like, oh, I heard from a friend of a friend that's on your close friends. And I was like, what in the fuck? So then I remember after that, I was like, yeah, I'm not posting anything on my close friends anymore. Because I had nothing but close friends, like actual close friends that I knew in real life. So it just made me question like who went and like, anyways. anyways. Confess, what was your worst date ever? You guys, oh my gosh. I honestly never wanted to confess this because it's actually disgusting, and I disgust myself when I think about this. I'm getting flashbacks. Okay, let me tell you guys. My worst date. I went on a date with this guy. He was so handsome, super attractive. We had already gone on a date, and this was our second date, right? So on this second date, he asked me to take pictures of him. And so I was like taking pictures of him. I'm like, smile, like do this, like change up the pose, blah, blah. And so we're looking at the pictures together, right? And he's like, I hate that the way my eyebrows, something like that, right? He was talking about his eyebrow and he like zoomed in on his face. And while he's talking about his eyebrow, I then look at his teeth because he had smiled. And I realized that he had like these like tartar built up on his gum. It was like these little clusters on his teeth. And I was like, and then I turn around and as he's talking to me, I see literal tartar built up on his teeth. And it was like yellow. And I just don't understand how like somebody can, I know for a fact he saw it. There's like no way of avoiding it. I didn't realize it until he smiled big because I feel like he had big lips. So his lips was like, the lips were hiding the buildup on his gums. It was like at the very top. And when I saw that, I immediately got disgusted because I'm like, oh my God, on our first date, we got super drunk and we made out. And I'm like, oh my God, Daisy, what if you made out with him? And then one of those little clusters, like you swallowed it. And then I fully became so disgusted and I gave myself the ick. And I was just envisioning like one of those little clusters, like going into my mouth and me, oh my God. Oh my God. Like I have to close my eyes because it genuinely like disgusts me. And after that, I was so off of him. That was our last date. I never saw him again. I never talked to him again. I was just like, to me, it's like my mom at a very, very, very young age taught me the importance of flossing. You can brush your teeth all you want, but if you don't floss, you are going to get bad breath. You are going to get cavities. Your teeth are going to decay because you literally have bacteria and food in between your teeth. I will never, ever, 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 ever date anyone that does not floss. I religiously floss because I know how bad your hygiene can get if you don't floss. And to get tartar built up like that, I'm just like, oh my God, your hygiene must be absolutely horrible for you not to see that. And so I was just so turned off. I was like, oh, absolutely not. I don't think I have ever gotten disgusted on a date like that, but I would say that that was my worst date ever. After that, I really started to like look at teeth. I also dealt with this guy who had really bad veneer breath. I didn't even know veneer breath was a thing. And like I couldn't figure out where the smell was coming from. And then I remember he sat next to me and like it just hit me. And I realized that like he wasn't flossing his veneers. And I was like, even I know that although you have veneers, you still have to take care of them. So anyway, sorry, I just got really, really passive aggressive about that. But just imagine a guy has started built up on his teeth and then you guys make out. Oh my God, horrible, horrible. Anyways. Confession. My husband and I are thinking about having a threesome with another female. Girl, let me tell you right now. Oh, wait, you said husband, right? I don't know. I'm kind of like 50-50 on that because I know of couples that have been together for a very long time that, you know, have threesomes to kind of just spice up their relationship. And it's been fun, but I also have witnessed the negatives of it. And let me tell you, because I had a friend who was having threesomes with her boyfriend, and unfortunately, the boyfriend ended up becoming more attracted to the girl that they were having threesomes with, and she noticed it. And whenever she was like, we can't have threesomes with that girl anymore, he then broke up with her and got with that girl that they were having threesomes with. And I'm like, oh my God, like that's the thing about threesomes. It's just like, what if your partner ends up becoming more attracted to that person? And it's like, and then now there's that insecurity, and you know, then it's going to cause problems. And then it's like, once you start having threesomes, and it's like, now it's like when just you two have sex, it's not going to be as fulfilling because you were able to experience this new experience. I don't know, but I feel like to each their own, you know. You guys, also, I had no idea that swingers meant that you were like an actual couple and then you were hooking up with other couples or like switching wives. I had no idea that that's what a swinger party was, or like that's what swingers were. I thought swingers were just like couples that had threesomes, but, or am I wrong? I don't know. You guys can let me know, but I was like in shock when I found out what swingers were and swinger parties. And I was like, okay, slay. I mean, not my cup of tea, but confession, I have gone on 3 separate dates with different guys to the same place. Honestly, same. Same. Same, but only because I really like the food. And look, you guys, I am single, okay? I'm gonna have to kiss a lot of frogs until I find my husband. So if I'm going on a date with a guy and he lets me choose the restaurant, I'm gonna choose my favorite restaurant. I don't care if the manager has seen me with 2 different guys there. I'm like, sir, I'm young and I'm hot and I'm single. So if you see me here a third time, mind your business. But it was embarrassing because I remember the manager at this place. I'm just gonna say it. I went to Boa Steakhouse, and I'm really cool with Paul. And so I remember when Paul saw me, he was like, he like gave me the side of like, girl, and I was like, Paul, you know you love me. You know that you wouldn't tell these guys that I've been on dates on here, but it was just funny the way that he gave me the side eye. But confess, what was your hardest goodbye, and how did you overcome it? My hardest goodbye. Ew. I know exactly what my hardest goodbye was. So I'm about to get a little bit vulnerable right now. Um, there was this person in my life that I was in love with. I had so much love for this person. I genuinely would take a bullet for this person. Like I just was so in love with this person. And, you know, I feel like when you love a person to that extent, you will make up excuses for their behavior. And I did do that for a lot of years. And it wasn't until I started to really dive deep into my healing journey that I realized that the person that I loved the most was the one causing a lot of harm in my life. And it wasn't until the people around me really started to tell me, like, why are you letting that person talk to you that way? You know, why are you letting that person disrespect you? And, you know, it was like disrespect even in front of my family. And that's where I was like, okay, like this has gone too far. And I decided to then set boundaries. And I was like, look, I don't like the way that you talk to me. I don't like the way that you disrespect me. Here are my boundaries. And moving forward, I need you to respect these boundaries. And that person, you know, just kind of brushed it off. It was like, yeah, like whatever. Because in the past, I had tried to set boundaries and then I just like, I like wouldn't actually apply them. But this time I was being very, very serious. So then we got into a really big argument and, you know, I went off and I told that person, you know, I'm no longer going to allow the disrespect. Like, you're the only person in my life that talks to me this way. I don't care, you know, how much history we have, you know, like this is it. And then I blocked that person on everything. But I remember I cried that day because I didn't want to say goodbye. I did not want this person to be out of my life. But I knew that at that point, if I wanted to really heal myself, I needed to put myself first. And so I really stood on business. I put myself first. I blocked him off everything. And I never went back. I never tried to rekindle things. I never tried to fix things. And, you know, everybody around me was like, oh my God, like, you know, you usually, you know, would unblock or do this or do that. And I was like, no, I was like, this time I'm very serious. And it's crazy because that was my hardest goodbye because I really did not, I thought that this person was going to be in my life forever. And why am I shaking my knee? I'm like, is it giving me a little bit of anxiety talking about this? I don't think it's giving me a little bit of anxiety, but it's just kind of like, I still like reminisce sometimes about this person, but I feel like when you're disrespected time after time after time, it's like, I don't miss that. So, you know what? Like, if this person is meant to come back into my life, I am a firm believer that we will cross paths again. And if we don't, then I'm perfectly fine with that, you know, because I don't think you should tolerate anyone disrespecting you Because if a person really does love you, they won't do that, you know? And yeah, I feel like it's very hard to step away, especially when, you know, there's feelings involved. But I feel like when I really set that boundary and I took a step back and I was able to fulfill that void with self-love. And so that's what made me get over it faster. It took me a long time though. I kid you not. It took me a long, long time to like really want to put myself first in that relationship, you know? But yeah, that was my hardest goodbye. I feel like a hard goodbye for anyone would be like to lose someone, but I haven't gone through that yet, like someone close to me. But I feel like that would then be my hardest goodbye, is like saying goodbye to a loved one. Um, but confession. I am 21 and I am in love with a 35-year-old. Is the 14-year age gap too much? 14 years? No. The only reason why I say no is because I feel like at 21, you're a full grown adult. You know, you're no longer 18. I feel like if you were 18, then that would be an issue. I also feel like it's very common in Latino culture, especially for our parents and like our elders, to have a really big age gap. Like a lot of my aunts and uncles, their age gap is like 10, 12, 14 years. And also like, I mean, I feel like if you're older, then it really doesn't matter. I feel like it mostly matters when you're younger. But I have talked to guys twice my age. I mean, yeah, he was like 44. But anyways, we're not talking about me. I'm like, we're talking about you. No, I'm playing, but I'm like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I also feel like age is nothing but a number. So, girl, do you, girly pop. I'm here to support. Confess, have you ever cheated or been cheated on? Yes, I have cheated, but let me explain. Okay? And I have been cheated on. I'm like, wait, do I want to confess this? But okay, fuck it. Daisy Diaries confessions. Okay, so I had gotten cheated on in high school. And so when I found out that I had been cheated on with multiple girls, I cheated out of spite just to get my lick back. And that has been the only time that I have ever cheated. And that's how I handled that situation. Because I was like, motherfucker, you're going to cheat on me. I'm going to cheat back. But now as an adult, when I got cheated on, I handled that situation completely different. And the thing with me, it's like, if you fuck me over, I don't get loud. I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to blow up in your face. I'm going to hurt you 10 times worse. It doesn't matter if it takes me a couple months or a year or 10 years. Like, I will get my lick back. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to cheat or do the same thing that you did to me. My way of handling getting cheated on as an adult, and let me tell you guys what happened so you can understand the whole situation. So I was with this person and he had just came back from traveling. And as soon as we were together and we kissed, something in my stomach did not feel right. Like I just got this feeling, like my intuition was like, something's not right. And so I remember just like kind of being off of him. And like, I was just, I don't know, like something just was like repelling his energy, right? So I remember we went to sleep and he was so mad that I didn't want to have sex with him because he was like, oh, like I've been gone for this amount of time and you don't want to have sex with me. Like you don't want to give me pussy and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like I don't want to have sex. I'm not feeling it. Like I just want to go to bed. So we end up falling asleep. Something wakes me up in the middle of the night, I kid you guys not, and tells me to go through his phone. Have this in mind. I had never gone through his phone. I also would never purposely go through someone's phone because I know I'm going to get my feelings hurt. And the thing with me, it's like, if you're fucking me over, if you're cheating on me, I'm going to find out. Without me even looking for it, I always end up finding out, you know? So it's like, why would I purposely go and like hurt my feelings? Everything that's done in the dark comes to light, you know? So I don't know. I already had that bad feeling. Something was just telling me to go through his phone. So then I go through his phone. I find these super graphic videos and pictures of a bunch of women. And I was like, okay. And I'm like, swipe, 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 screenshot, 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 send, send, send. I sent everything to my phone. I left the lock screen on the most graphic video. I lock it. I then creep out of bed. I tiptoe. I call my Uber and I immediately blocked him off of every single app, phone number, email, everything. And I was like, you know what, motherfucker? You really want to fuck me over like that? Guess what? From this point on, you're dead to me. You're not going to get a word from me. You're not going to get a reaction out of me. And it's going to hurt you 10,000 times more. And that's exactly what happened. He was going crazy. Like, I had never seen somebody react this way, trying every single form, way, shape, and possible to reach me. And I was like, you literally, like, this person would not leave me alone. And I was like, you're dead to me. Like, point blank, period. And that killed him on the inside, knowing that, like, he never had access to me again. And I think that hurt him more versus me cheating on him, you know? And so, yeah, the way that I handled both situations is completely different. But again, like, and don't get me wrong, like, I did feel like a bad bitch because I'm like, I was able to walk away from it, but I genuinely was super sad. I got super depressed because, I mean, it sucks. Like, when you get cheated on, it fucking sucks so bad because it makes you feel like you're not worthy of anything, you know? And so at that point, I had been cheated on every single relationship that I had been in. Not every single, except for one relationship. I will say that. And so at that point in my life, I genuinely felt like I was unworthy, like I wasn't enough, because I'm like, why do these men keep cheating on me, you know? And I'm like, I'm a really great girlfriend. You know, I give them the world and I give them unconditional love. So I was just like, I genuinely just felt like I didn't know myself. And then that's whenever I was like, well, Daisy's because you keep putting up with it, you know? That time that I went through his phone was not the first time he had cheated on me. So I'm like, you put yourself in that situation. So I just remember, and even from the first time that I cheated, I was like, I would never cheat ever again because I hated the way that I felt. And then after that person found out when I cheated, I'm like, you see, like, now you're feeling what I'm feeling. But I'm like, if I'm in a relationship and I feel the need to cheat, I would straight up just break up with that person because it's just like, wouldn't you much rather just be single and fuck whoever you want without having to hurt somebody else? Like, but then again, people are fucking selfish. And it's like, to me, men that cheat on their women, it's like, well, I want to have you, but I also want to have this other person because, like, I'm just physically attracted to this person, but I'm emotionally attracted to you, but I'm a man. I don't know. There's just, I despise cheaters. I really do. And yeah, that is how I handle that. So yes and yes. Confession. Hey girly, I'm going through so much this past week. My daughter's dad just passed away. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry for your loss, girl. Okay, I'm about to get very serious here. I had a friend who lost their best friend, and I didn't know how to be there for her because I have never gone through grief like that. And so I just didn't know or understand how to understand her, if that makes sense. So I tried to do my research. I tried to talk to people that had lost loved ones. And what I learned from it is that you never really get over the passing of someone. All you can really do is just kind of like walk around it, if that makes sense. So it's like you don't ever really get over grieving the loss of someone. You can only walk around it, and it's going to be an emotional roller coaster for the rest of your life. Some days you're going to be good, some days you're going to be bad, and you know, you just really need a big support group to just be there for you. And so all I could do was just be there for her, listen to her if she needed me. And so I know that I know for a fact you're trying to be strong for your daughter, but I just want to let you know that it is okay for you to cry as well. It's okay for you to feel, it's okay for you to be vulnerable, and it's okay to take some time off to cope with your emotions and to let them out. And all in all, I just want you to know that, you know, your daughter has a strong, beautiful mother, it's going to make you stronger in the end. And both of you guys now have a guardian angel. It's somebody looking over you guys. And, I'm here if you need anything. If you need somebody to talk to, I'm here. But I'm so sorry again. And you have a beautiful angel watching over the both of you. I'm sending you all of my love. I'm sending you the biggest hug ever. I hope you are listening to this because I'm giving you the biggest hug ever. I love you, girl. I love you, girl. Keep your head up, and you're super strong. Um, oh my gosh, I'm skipping this one because I can't go from like a super serious topic to like a crazy one. But confess, what's the most you have been paid for a sponsorship? You guys would be in shock if I were to tell you the brand, but I can't disclose the brand. But it for sure was six figures because I remember I was in shock, but it was like a bundle. And by a bundle, it's like some companies can come to you and say like, hey, we want quote unquote, I don't even think it's called a bundle, like a package. There we go. A package. So a package basically is like 2 YouTube videos, 2 Instagram posts, 6 stories, 3 frames, and we get a usage of 6 months. So basically they can use that content for 6 months. And so I did like a very long contract with them. But if it was just like a straight up just like a post and go, like just like we just want an Instagram post. Actually I don't know that one. I don't know that one. But I know that the biggest one was 6 figures. This was a while back. And now they're like a super huge company. But I knew they had budget. Okay. I was like, they got money. Confession. My man of 6 years has never made me finish. I always have to fake an orgasm. Girly pops, all the women out there listening, I think we can all agree that you are not alone. I feel like a lot of women have faked an orgasm. And let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. This is a safe place. Me, for example, I have faked an orgasm just to not make the other person feel bad. And so the experience is not awkward. Because if I were to be like, I don't know, I've never been in the position where like up to now where like I didn't finish and then I communicated and being like, I didn't finish. That would be so awkward also. That's what I'm saying. Like I haven't been in a position recently to where I had to fake one because I feel like now if that were to happen to me like right now, I feel like I straight up would be a bitch and just tell the person like, hey, like I didn't finish, like, like let's keep it going. But I don't know, that would be like so awkward. But girl, if that's your boyfriend of 6 years, if I was in your position though, being straight up, I would be super open and honest with him because at that point it's like, then I would like advise you to tell him like, hey, I also want to feel pleasure just like you feel pleasure. So let's be grown adults about this and like talk about incorporating toys or like what satisfies me, or let's just find other partners because clearly it's not working out. But you guys have been together for 6 years. So I don't know. That's kind of a hard one, but I haven't faked an orgasm in years. That's crazy. You know what? It's crazy for us women because for a man, they can't fake it, So it's just crazy out here. Okay, we're going to end today's episode with a crazy one. Actually, 2 crazy ones, okay? I found out my ex was cheating, so I spit in his coffee creamer every day and watch him drink it. Girl, honestly, slay. Like, what the fuck? He deserved it if he was cheating on you. But also, like, I'd be so scared to do that. I don't know. I've always been scared of like the most I've done is like egg someone's car when I was in high school. It's because like I'm scared of the law, and also I'm scared of karma because I know that karma like is real and like whatever you put out, you get back. If I were to ever do something like that, I would get karma instantly. But good for you, girl. He deserved it. Okay, last confession. I told my man I wouldn't be able to marry him if he didn't let me eat his. You guys know what I'm about to say. Honestly, kudos to you, girl, because I could never. It's just not my cup of tea. I feel like I would fully freak the fuck out. Actually, maybe if I'm married, maybe not, probably not, but to each their own. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that ends this solo episode's first Daisy Diaries confession. I genuinely loved reading your confessions. I want to keep doing this on solo episodes. If you have any confessions down below, let's talk about it in the comments. I will then react to them in the next solo episode. Again, thank you guys for trusting me on taking your secrets with me to the grave. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode, and I can't wait to talk to you on the next one. Bye, guys.